Hey everybody, I'm Allison with FlickDirect, and I am here with Tina Romero to talk about two movies, as a matter of fact. We're going to talk about Queens of the Dead and then Day of the Dead.
Yes.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm so happy to be here in Florida.
We were just talking about the sweltering heat, just so
Yeah,
you know.
I kind of love
Anyway,
it.
let's talk about Queens of the Dead. I know there's some Easter eggs in there as an
Yes.
homage.
hmm
What can you tell us without giving too much away?
Well, I had to put some Easter eggs in this film, of course, and one that I want people to really listen for is in the
Mm.
music, is in the score.
Oh.
Blitz Berlin. I'm obsessed with them. They are the composers of the music in this movie, and we cooked up a really fun treat that actually homages John Harrison's score from Day of the Dead, and it's
Nice.
one of my favorite elements of the film. You'll hear the theme come in. We mash it up at the end with a surprise remix from a pop artist that we all know and love.
Oh,
So listen with your ears for that one.
excellent.
There's also a fun cameo that you're going to see. I think if you are a Romero fan, you will recognize. There's actually two cameos.
Oh,
Um, Prize if you can get them both.
so all right, we won't give that away, but let's talk about Queens of the Dead. What made you want to make this film? And from inception to where it is now, has it changed much over
Oh
the
my
course
God.
of production?
Yes. Right before we started shooting, John Harrison, speak of the devil, wrote me a letter reminding me that a movie is written three times: when you write it, when you
Ah,
shoot it, and when you edit it. And that could not be more true with this film. I started writing this movie almost a decade ago. I actually had the idea
wow.
before my dad died. It hit me like a bolt of lightning. There was an experience I had in the queer nightlife community that I talk about a lot in some other interviews that I won't go into the details because it's kind of a long story, but it ended in a manifesto being posted on social media begging the question, when will the queer community stop devouring its own? And it kind of hit me like a bolt of lightning that
Oh,
this is the way I wanted to touch zombies. I never wanted to touch zombies unless I knew how to do it
yeah,
in a way that was authentic to me, a story that I could tell.
yeah.
And when it hit me, I knew that queer nightlife was where I wanted to set a zombie story because it is so filled with the most amazing, creative, scrappy, DIY, make it work people. And I just thought these characters are characters I want to watch survive the zombie apocalypse. And I wanted to flip the script a little bit for the
Okay.
community. And instead of having the one gay character, I wanted to have the one straight guy from Staten Island who did not think he was going to be at a drag bar the night the undead started walking. But at the end of the day, he's kind of happy that he is. So, it's a long process to make a movie,
Yeah,
especially an indie movie with no money. And so, of course, it's changed from the first draft.
sure.
But, looking back on the whole journey, it's the most cool thing about making a movie is that, like, at the end of the day, it's perfect how it is. Like, it exists the way it is because of all the people involved, all the amazing, brilliant people involved, and all of the decisions, and the culmination of all of that is where we are now. And it feels so exciting to be sharing it, especially here at Popcorn Frights, which is like one of the coolest festivals I've ever been to. I love the people. I love the vibe. I love
Yeah.
the energy. I'm seeing people coming through the door in costume.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely a different kind of vibe and a very fun group.
Yeah.
Welcome to South Florida.
South Florida.
This is directorial debut for you.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how nervous were you, especially the lineage that we're
Yeah.
talking about here?
Oh, I was so nervous. Oh, I've been using a lot of pregnancy metaphors actually. Like
Really?
I was pregnant with this baby for a very long time. It was a long gestation period, a hard labor, and then the baby was out, and I was very nervous to share the baby with the world.
Oh,
And we premiered at Tribeca in
okay.
June during Pride Month in New York, which is such an
Oh,
auspicious
nice.
time to show
Yeah.
this movie. And I'm so touched by the way that the initial audiences have been like, let us hold the baby. We'll be gentle. We'll be nice. We'll bounce the baby on our knee and we'll take care of her. And it's really special to share the film and to have people respond to it well. And it's sort of released that initial anxiety. Just to have it mean something to 10 people is like
Mm,
all that matters.
right.
And but yes, it is it is a complicated mix of feelings.
Yeah.
Like I am of course taking on a big um, a, a big I'm playing in a big sandbox that my dad
Yeah.
made here, but it's also a really special sandbox
Yeah.
because it is my dad's, and I
Yeah.
just adore him so much. And I really am very proud that this is a movie that he would have never made. Um, that being said, I do hope that people can feel the reverberations of his spirit in there because he lives inside of me.
Aw.
And so I hope that that comes across.
Let's talk a little bit about Day of the Dead,
Yeah.
your dad. Um, what was it like growing up in your house?
I always tell people that I am an edgy cheeseball, and that very
Okay.
much sparks from my experience growing up on 80s Disney movies, watching Pippi Longstocking and Bye Bye Birdie and all the musicals in my bedroom at night, and then walking to the bathroom past a horrifying movie poster or like Fluffy's crate that had like dried blood on it that I knew wasn't real, but I still walked a little faster every time I crossed the path. And I sat on a zombie's lap before I met a mall Santa, and
Oh.
and that zombie was Bub. Um, and I learned to walk on the set of Day of the Dead.
Uh,
So it's sort of like a strange mashup of dark and light. I would say is really what my
yeah.
world was like.
Were you ever afraid, or because you saw that from such a young age, you were like,
Yeah.
no big deal?
Yeah, that I felt very safe around it. I saw some crazy shit on set. Bisected torsos, blood and
Oh
guts.
my
Like
God.
I wasn't censored from any of it. And because my dad was there and it was my dad, none of it was scary to me.
Okay.
Um, Now, the ocean, on the other hand, and growing up, I spent a lot of time as a kid in South Florida. We
Okay.
split time between the East Coast and Florida. My dad loved Florida. His parents were in Tampa, and he would
Okay.
do his writing down in Southwest Florida. And as you all know, gators be walking around the city, okay? And there be snakes and there be bugs. And is it a rock or is it a predator? You never know. And so this sort of like creature fear is really what gets me. I saw Jaws way too young.
Oh,
As a result, like any body of water, swimming pool, bathtub, fresh water, salt water, there's definitely a shark in there who's gonna eat me. So that's where my psychology issues lie.
wow. There's a whole therapy session
Yeah.
going on there. 40 years. What would your dad think of this?
He would probably say something self-loathing like 40 years, can't they get enough? Like enough of this, enough of the dead. Um, but I think he would also think it's very cool. I think he would think it's really cool that they restored it. One of the last things he got to do was the restoration of Night of the Living Dead,
Oh, okay.
and it was so special to watch him get to.
Oh,
They digitized it, and he was able to go in and do a couple of color correction things, like taking out the fly that buzzed around that drove him crazy, like evening out the sweat stains on Tom's shirt. These little details that were, like to us don't mean a thing, but to him were frustrating. So I think he would be thrilled that we are all still here, still enjoying the film. And honestly, it's still so relevant today. These
yeah.
stories
Yeah.
about, what happens to humans when hope is lost, and the slow rot of society under pressure. It's very much a theme that is relevant today. And so whether that's him being ahead of the time or just maybe times coming back around, I think it's really cool that we can still dig into his films and find meaning in them and find fun enjoying them too.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love the fact that we take that film and it's still relevant, but yet you build on it with your movie in a sense. So it's almost like passing the
Aw.
torch on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For your film,
Yeah.
what do you want people to walk out
Oh,
saying?
I love that question. I want people to walk out with a pep in their step. And this is where Day of the Dead and Queens of the Dead, I think leave people on a little bit of a different note. And it's interesting the order that we're watching them tonight. We're
Okay.
watching Queens first and then Day. Some may say that the reverse order might have been a little more pleasant just because Day, I'm a
Yeah.
bit more of an optimist.
Okay.
And especially in light of the times and in light of what the queer community is going through right now, I wanted to make a zombie film that leaves you with a little hope and levity and a
Okay.
sense of strength and fighting power, because I really believe that there's no fighting power like the fighting power of the queer community, and I wanted to champion that, and I wanted to celebrate that, and so you'll notice the credit song is upbeat.
Okay.
Like I want people to tap their toe and feel uplifted, and and have a good ride and laugh, and maybe think a little bit too. I hope you jump. I hope you have fun. I hope that you come out feeling like you had fun.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, zombie movie fun. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
But what do you want people to come out saying about your dad's movie?
Oh, I want them to say, "Wow, that still holds up,"
Yeah.
and like how can you not shed a little tear for Bub?
Yeah.
Bub is one of the coolest, most unique, special zombies
Yeah.
that's ever been put on screen, in my opinion. And I feel like that's a zombie that sticks with you.
Mm.
And yeah, Bub.
All right. And that is truly the gift of a really great film,
Yeah,
that it stands the test of time.
yeah.
Day of the Dead has. I can't wait for people to see your film now and how the legacy lives on. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We
Oh,
appreciate it.
thank you, Allison.